So I think with the cost of these replacement parts, I actually have been advised to see if we can keep a lot of the original parts and then clean them up. So I've already started to attack the steering rack with the degreaser, and hopefully, because it seems to be fine, I'll just replace the Jubilee clips, probably these little bolts or nuts at the end of those bolts, and the rubbers, and probably those clips, and then hopefully give it all a coat of paint. And the same the other end, new rubbers, new clips. But I think it's all turning pretty well. Again, I'll consult the guru as to any things I'm particularly looking for. So I'll give that a good old clean up. So I presume another quick degrease with that, and I'll take these off and hopefully maybe get it painted. Okay, so I am going to clean up these shock absorbers. They're not that old. We obviously need to put a new rubber link on, because that rubber really has had it. But I think the shock absorber itself is alright. I am going to get them down the garage and ask them. But they basically said if these parts are okay, use them. But there's no leaks and there's no resistance to the movement in that arm. So I'm hoping that they can be reused. But I don't really know. So I'll clean them up and then get them down the garage and ask them. Right, let's get them degreased. When we replaced these things before with the MGB, our replacements were actually leaking around here when the arm was being lifted up and down. And the other thing we noticed was that when we offered up the new link bar, this end here was slightly bent, so the whole thing was not at 90 degrees. It's things you don't really notice when you take these in for replacement, but at least we know that one's straight and it doesn't look like there's any oil coming out when we operate these levers. And as the MG Guru says, there's no part of that range that feels particularly stiff or bound. It all just feels quite nice. So hopefully that's all alright and can be refilled, painted and reused. And here's the other shock absorber. I'm guessing from the near side. But I'm going to do the same thing, degrease that, clean it up, and then just see how the arm's moving, see if there's any oil leaking. So again, it looks like there's no major oil leaks on that one. All round the arm, it looks like that lever, well, that needs replacing. Looks like that's nice and square. They're often bent on the replacement units. There's no oil coming out of that bit, which is what we had before with the replacement unit. The difference with this one is the arm it's moving, but it's definitely stiffer than the other one. So there is a difference between the two. But again, I'm going to ask the garage about that. So there's definitely a stiff arm on that one, but it's not. It's going through the whole arc. Yeah, it's going through the whole arc. It's not bound anywhere. So, but there's definitely a difference on them both. Anyway, so I think that one's good to go to the garage for inspection and hopefully refill.